This comet is what we call a planet killer.
At this exact moment, I say we sit tight and assess.
Sit tight and assess?
Sit tight.
And then assess. The sit tight part comes first, then you gotta digest it. That's the assessment period.
I spent my holidays relaxing and catching up on movies and series. One movie that popped up on my radar was Don't Look Up, and I'm glad it did. Not only was it one of my favorite movies of 2021, it was jam-packed with watches. Today, we're going to take a look at the watches featured in Don't Look Up. Don't Look Up is a sci-fi thriller starring Leonardo Dicaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, two scientists who discover a planet-ending comet heading directly towards Earth. Their warnings to the powers that be go unanswered, and the general public doesn't seem to care. The duo works to spread awareness to the world and hopefully convince the government to deflect the comet and save the planet. That's the plot of the movie. Now let's take a look at the watches. First up is Jonah Hill playing Jason Orlean. There are two types of Richard Mille owners. People who have worked hard, made millions of dollars, and have enough disposable income to spend the equivalent of a house on a watch, and people who have been handed millions and have more dollars than cents. Jason Orlean is the latter. Played perfectly by Jonah Hill, Jason Orlean is the president's son who is also the chief of staff. Throughout the movie, he is portrayed as an inconsiderate Republican who cares only about himself. It was pretty clear to me that he was meant to be an over-the-top depiction of Donald Trump Jr. Near the end of the movie, Jason makes a speech stating how it is commendable to pray for people in these dire times. However, he wants to pray for stuff like sick apartments, watches, and cars. Perfectly on his wrist is a Richard Mille RM052. This Richard Mille features a skull dial and is upwards of $700,000. I can't think of a watch that would be better suited for this character. The actual watch they used in this movie is a fake, which, when you think about it, is actually more fitting. Next, we'll take a look at Meryl Streep playing President Orlean. The President of the United States always has people watching their every move. You would think, at the very least, people wouldn't be eyeing their watches. But we live in a world of watch nerds, so of course we're going to be interested in what the person at the helm is wearing. Meryl Streep plays President Orlean, an old school politician with little care for her constituents and a lot of care for her donors. President Orlean can be spotted wearing a Piaget extremely lady watch throughout the movie. This is a time-only watch with no second hand. The plain silver dial is contrasted by the gold hands and diamond bezel. The bracelet is an old school style mesh strap that really makes the watch. This watch costs $76,000. Talk about a lady of the people. This watch is extremely fitting for this character. It's elegant, gaudy, and shows that corruption pays well. These are all traits that are shared with President Orlean. Next, we move on to Leonardo Dicaprio, who plays Dr. Randall Mindy. Alright, you did it. You became the top person in your field. What watch would you buy to celebrate? Me, personally, I would buy a Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. Dr. Randall Mindy, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, went a little different direction than I would. Early in the movie, he is wearing a watch that I can't identify. Later, when he is the foremost expert on Comet Dibiasky, he is seen wearing a Cartier tank. This is the watch that he wears during his freakout on live TV, where he tries and fails to calmly explain his displeasure with the powers to be. Unfortunately, due to his frantic nature, I am unable to identify the exact model of Cartier tank. However, based on the sizing, I would assume it is the large version. This watch has an MSRP of $2,740. At this point of the movie, Dr. Randall Mindy is a public figure and administrator, not a field scientist. And he is certainly not the science. That's my dig at Anthony Fauci, who this character kind of reminds me of. I think it makes sense for Dr. Mindy to be wearing a dress watch at this point, as his job is basically administration and oversight. And finally, we're going to take a look at Rob Morgan, who plays Dr. Teddy Oglethorpe. Costume directors in recent years have been getting character watches right. I've been noticing more and more that watches are being perfectly suited for their characters. Dr. Teddy Oglethorpe, played by Rob Morgan, has, in my opinion, the watch most suited for his character. On his wrist is a Casio AE1200, otherwise known as the Royale. Dr. Teddy is the head of Planetary Defense Coordination at NASA. I am sure that money is not an issue with a title like that, yet he wears a watch that costs less than $50. This is actually very realistic. There's plenty of people out there in high-level positions that could care less about watches. People like Bill Gates, Tyler the Creator, Ashton Kutcher, and many more. They are typically drawn to watches that function over form. This makes it a very fitting watch for the humble character that Dr. Teddy is. And that's all the watches in Don't Look Up. If you haven't had a chance to check out this movie, I highly recommend it. Just don't blame me for the existential crisis that it leaves you with. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan to do more videos like this in the future, so if you'd like to see more content, please like this video and subscribe to keep up to date. Have a good one.
What's up, y'all? I'm the last man on Earth. Shit's all fucked up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.